Hello, Michael M. You are up next.
Hi, Bart.
How's it going, Michael? Where you playing out of?
I am playing out of Parks in Pennsylvania. I'm playing the 2-5, and we are seven-handed and 650 effective.
All right, so 2-5 at Parks, seven-handed, 650 effective. This is a 1K buy-in cap game, right?
Yes, it's 1K max.
All right, start us off here.
I am under the gun with ace of diamonds, five of diamonds, and I raise it up to $20. And I get a call from the hijack and the low jack.
So you make it 20 from under the gun, and the low jack and the hijack call.
Yes.
So you are three ways, and it looks like it's $60.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the flop is ace of spades, queen of spades, and five of hearts. So I flop and bottom.
Ace of spades, queen of spades, five of hearts. So you flop top and bottom here as the pre-flop raiser, right? With ace five. Okay.
And I go ahead and I lead out for $40.
I like it. So hero bets 40. I like to take large sizing in single raise pots on two Broadway, two flush boards. And you fare to have the best hand here a ton, especially if people are going to three bet you here with ace king. I suppose some people might flat sometimes with ace queen, but you block pocket fives. And there's a lot of draws out there. So, okay, so you bet 40.
Both players make the call.
Interesting. So the low jack and the hijack both call.
I was wondering if you think it could be a good idea to go a little bit bigger here, just because they're probably not folding an ace, maybe something closer to like 60.
I mean, you could, sure, you could go like 50 or 60 and get, it depends. I mean, if these guys are really, really loosey-goosey, the only thing is that, do you play pretty tight?
Yeah, so this was actually my first, or I think this was the second hand that I played at the table. It was my first time playing 2-5 at Parks.
Okay, because how much did you buy in for?
I bought in for 700, so on the shorter side.
So what I was going to say is like my take would be like if I was a regular in the game and then I saw you, I don't know if you're a younger guy or what, but I had never seen you before. And then you're not buying in for the full amount. And then you just kind of go pot on a board like this. I would not, like, I might just find a fold with like, if I had called you pre with like ace nine suited or something like that, especially like if I'm not closing the action in the middle or overcall. So if you go 50-60 and you get those hands to fold, it's a disaster. So I don't know about these. I mean, obviously you don't know about the caliber of player. That's my only thing that I would say. Sure, in general, yeah, you can bet larger, but it just seems like if you're a new guy and you're kind of like playing tight and didn't buy in for the full amount, I never want to let anybody off the hook. So it's definitely not like any type of mistake, I don't think, to bet 40. The only mistake it would be is if you were to lose some value. So 40 call. The pot is what, 180 now?
Yeah, it's going to be 180, and the turn is the three of diamonds.
Three of diamonds. Okay.
And I go ahead and lead out again, this time for 150.
So hero bets 150 into 180. And again, this is definitely on the larger side. If somebody was any type of player here, like if I'm this guy in the middle and I somehow had like ace 10 here, maybe even ace jack, and you're still firing like for this type of sizing, I might just release. That's my only concern about taking this type of big sizing multi-way. I don't know if you have that many bluffs here, but in live poker, it might not matter. Sometimes you can just, get away with it and they're just going to call down with an ace anyways. So you bet 150. Okay.
And both players make the call again.
Jeez. I mean, it would seem to me, low jack and hijack call. Wow. So you guys just put in 450 on the turn. So now the pot is 630. And what, you've got like 440 left, something like that?
Yeah, I think it was 440 left. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it would seem to me like somebody should have a spade draw here. I mean, somebody should have a spade draw here. It's ace of spades, queen of spades, five of hearts, turns to three of diamonds. And you don't know anything about these players, right?
Yeah, I don't know anything about them.
I mean, yeah, you don't want to see a spade. And then It gets kind of dicey with some. I would say that the card, obviously, I don't want to see a front door spade, right? You don't want to see a queen because that will counterfeit you. And I kind of don't want to see a jack or a 10, although it's probably pretty close. It's interesting, like if a jack or a 10 were to come, what you would do. A good card actually would be a 3. And the reason why I say that is because if a 3 comes, you beat every other ace. And somebody might call, like, thinking, oh, like I've got, because it would be ace, queen, 5, 3, 3, and you have ace 5. That's like having ace, queen, right? You beat ace, king. Now, someone could have 3x of spades, but it's unlikely because the ace of spades is out there. By the way, too, if you want to get better at, obviously, live poker, you need to recall your hands in a very accurate way. You need to be able to remember your hands and show them to other people and not make mistakes, especially with all of the hands that can be very flushing, lots of backdoors, things like that. And we've got a couple of guys in the community that have developed this app called Fastroll that really makes it easy for you to record your hands down, and you can share them with anyone that you want. It exports them in an easily shareable format for, say, things like poker forums. And now you can actually share them with me. You can click on the link, submit to the call-in show, and you will also get priority to be on this show if you want to submit a hand for the call-in show through the Fastroll app. That feature is available. If you want to check out the Fastroll app, you can use the code BART and you will get the first month free off of their yearly subscription. So the pot's 630. Like I said, you've got 440 or so left. What's the river?
So the river is the 4 of clubs, so spades miss, but there's now a one-liner to an unlikely straight.
Ace of spades, queen of spades, 5 of hearts, 3 of diamonds, 4 of clubs. You're right. Like this one would, and again, I go back to what I just said about how I wouldn't really be overly concerned with 3x of spades. If a 3 were to come, you don't really have to be all that concerned about deuce x of spades here, and it's because the ace of spades is out there. So if people are playing normal pre-flop raising ranges or flat calling ranges, right, the only deuce besides having pocket deuces that they're going to have is ace deuce suited. And because the ace of spades is out there, they can't have that. I don't think anybody's getting to the end here with deuce deuce, right? So it's really, it looks kind of scary, but it doesn't seem all that relevant to me besides, of course, there's one combo of 6-7 suited, 6-7 of spades, which would be the front door, right? Backing into a straight at the end. I mean, that's one specific combo. Now, the question then becomes how do we want to play it here? Like, is it better to check and induce a bluff? Or is it also better to possibly actually bet and continue to get called by a single paired ace because people would think that you would slow down here at the end? It's probably pretty close. I'll put it this way. For some reason, if I checked here thinking that was the best play at the end, I can't ever see folding here, with the exception of maybe if somebody moved all in and then there was a call or something like that. But, I tend to actually go pretty thin in these games. And it's just, again, it's one of these cases where besides 6-7 of spades here, I just don't see what this river changes. And you beat all the aces up, with the exception of ace queen that you would have heard about anyways. So I could kind of see just betting out here, 200, something like that. And then somebody might be, well, what if a guy jams on me? You're sort of pot stuck. Yeah, you are kind of pot stuck. So it's pretty close.
In game, what I was kind of thinking is there's not like a lot of 2 pairs for me to target just because that 3 was a diamond and we have the ace of diamonds. And I don't think anyone's like playing queen 5. And I don't think the ace 4 would have made it to the river. So I decided
You don't think that ace 4 would make it to the river? If it called the turn? I mean, if it called the flop?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if I go 150 into 180, like, and they're any sort of player, like, you would think that they would fold out. just because like we have another guy in there.
You mean like a guy in the middle, you mean, or something like that?
Yeah, like if I go 150 and the load, or yeah, and the.
So does that suggest that possibly your bet size was possibly incorrect on the turn?
Yeah, I mean, I was planning to go 150, and then I figured if I got called by one guy, like I could probably still be good. But when I got called by both, I was definitely like a little scared that someone was like sandbagging something such as ace queen.
Wait a minute. So you think that when you get called on the turn for 150 by both players that you're behind?
Yeah, in game, I thought that someone probably had a spade draw, and then that there was a decent chance that someone had something like ace queen.
I mean, I don't, first of all, I don't agree with you necessarily. I think you're ahead a lot on the turn. And you bring up a point. What you're saying is logical, though. So I'll just kind of break it down, because sometimes you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you bet so large when you get called, you're like, oh shit, that's a telltale sign. That's a telltale sign that there was something wrong with your betting. Now, but what you're saying is that, well, it's only because I got called in two spots am I saying, oh shit, right? Not just one spot. But still, I still think that you're ahead on the turn. That's why I think that, like, personally, with a 2/3 pot size bet, I would bet the end here. And it's going back and forth from people, Nate saying just move in, other people saying like bet half the size of the pot. I don't know if checking here is the play unless you truly think that you're just beaten and you're going to check fold somehow. But I don't know how you're going to check fold to one player. I was saying, like, I don't see how checking to like induce a bluff is the play. But anyways, all right. So at least we know what you're thinking, though. You were concerned that you might be beaten here on the turn. Hero checks. Okay.
So now the low jack bets 300, and the high jack thinks about it for a little bit and then makes the call.
The low jack bets 300.
Yeah.
And the high jack calls.
Yes.
So the pot now is 1230. So 3, 6. The pot is 1230, 300 for you to call. This is just a snap call all day. And I'll tell you why. I mean, you're getting 4-1 here. You only need to be good here 1 out of 5 times. And obviously, it's, obviously you have to defend less often when it's multi-way. But I could see, sometimes like in your hijack spot, like if you put in that first call, it's very, very difficult for you as the preflop raiser to call behind. I just don't know, like, how, again, we keep saying like how relevant the deuce is. I just think for these pot odds here, if I played it this way, 1230 in the pot, 300 for me to call, I'm not folding here. I don't think so. People say now jam. I don't think so. Crying call. I don't know if it's a crying call. I think it's more of a slam dunk call. But yeah, I mean, again, it's multi-way, sure. But I just think that now, if you see, here's the other thing though, too, like, because your hand beats some other possibly like overvalued hands here. I love the fact that you have ace 5 as opposed to like ace king. Ace king is like much, much harder because of the fact that somebody might have aces up, because you don't know, like the low jack could have, the high jack could have rivered aces up, but you're protected by the fact that you have ace 5, right? Like if the hijack has ace 4, you beat him. If the low jack's bluffing, fine. That's why ace king is a much more difficult call here than ace 5. Like I would be kind of reeling with ace king, but I think I call here with ace 5. What did you end up doing?
So I ended up making a tight fold.
Ooh, wow. Wow, hero folds. That is very tight, sir.
And the low jack shows 4 deuce of hearts.
The low jack has 4 deuce of hearts for a straight. So he had a wheel on the turn.
Yeah, he flopped a gut shot and then hit the 3 on the turn.
And did you ever see what the hijack had?
I did not, but after the hand, he said that he put me on ace king or something. So I assumed that that could mean like a 2 pair. I mean, I don't think he really has like any sets here, so I would assume he would have like a 2 pair here, but I didn't see his cards.
Well, it's interesting though, because from the hijack's perspective, again, a hijack call could freeze you out of the pot with ace king just because he's the first one calling. You know what I'm saying? What would you have done? What would you have done? This is just like one of these things. I mean, we talked through this hand. The guy's playing a hand that he shouldn't ever have, right? In deuce four. We want to think about the hand logically. It is what it is. I'm just saying that a deuce is just not gonna be really all that relevant here. The guy had it anyways, and it's specifically because of the fact that the ace of spades is out there. What would you have done if the guy like raised the turn, the low jack with a wheel?
If he raised the turn, I think I'm probably calling, just because I definitely wouldn't put him on the straight, and I think my hand may just be like a little bit too strong to fold on the turn.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very hard with your specific hand, I think, to fold because of the fact that you block a set of fives. And again, this is just like, it's one of these ones where if you have ace queen and somebody's not overvaluing ace five, there's 3 combos of bottom sets that are available. If you have ace five, there's only 1 combo. And if people are 3-betting off ace queen pre, at least sometimes, and they're 3-betting off aces and queens, it's a little bit different. But that's an interesting one. Personally, I think that I would have bet the river. And it's just like one of these things where like the fact that we see the low jack have 4 deuce of hearts, okay, he turned the nuts in this hand, but it just means like he's playing all kinds of shit that you can get value from. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it.